Hi, I'm Heather Horton of Indigo Life Designs, and I'm sitting here with Ryan Geddes of Go Native Fit out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Hi Ryan, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us today.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm an astrologer.
Right.
And the sun just moved into tropical Virgo about a week ago. And you happen to be someone that was born when the sun was in the sign of Virgo.
Virgo, baby.
Yeah, you're a Virgo baby.
Yeah.
You look like a Virgo baby.
Right.
Do you know anything about being a Virgo baby?
Yeah, you know, I mean, the typical stuff. OCD at times and totally into fitness.
Virgo is a mutable sign. Means it has energy that is able to adjust and go with the flow of what's around.
Right.
And it's an earth sign. So it is grounded and practical and realistic and very much in the third dimension.
Right.
Well, for Virgo, Virgo rules health. Health and fitness and
Right.
daily routines.
Yeah.
You resonate with this?
I'm with that, yeah.
And essentially with the third dimension of the body, the physical body. So you happen to be the creator and owner of
Go Native Fit.
And what is Go Native Fit?
So Go Native Fit is kind of your alternative to your typical gym. As you can tell, I've surrounded myself with the outdoors, the rivers behind us, the level and bike trail. We've got sand volleyball over there. My whole idea with fitness is that, you know, get people back outside. You know, the functional side of being fit just means move, you know. Get moving again. We lead these sedentary lives behind the desk, in a chair, typing on the computer. And whether it's there or you're on your couch or you're typing on your phone in your car, you know, texting and driving. I mean, in some way, shape, or form, we're always sitting. And, you know, I feel that we've lost touch with what it is that we're really connected with, which is not only ourselves, but we're connected with nature. And by connecting back to nature, you know, hence Go Native, you know, you get back to the fundamental basics of how to live and survive. And if you can do that, then you're more than likely going to be a fit individual.
And you run regular boot camps.
Yeah,
yes?
we do boot camps, we do personal training throughout the day, boot camps in the morning and then the evenings.
Okay.
And we fill it up with personal training during the middays.
Go back in time a little bit with you. Astrologically, there's a point in time that we refer to as the Saturn return. Psychologically, it lines up with the coming of age cycle. Saturn in astrology represents things like lessons and wisdom, restrictions, restructuring, rebuilding, and these lessons aren't easy. They tend to be tough lessons, and for you being a 76 baby,
Yeah.
this would have been a cycle that would have occurred around 2007 and 2008.
Correct.
Essentially, it takes Saturn 29 and a half years to make that full journey through the zodiac around the sun. So we see this cycle in approximately 30-year increments.
Yeah.
There's the coming of age. What happened to you around that time?
Well, you know, I mean, it was kind of a perfect storm. I had two basically newborn children, thriving company up until '08, you know, 30 employees, this, that, and the other. Things seemed to be going great. My marriage fell apart rather rapidly. In '08, we had won the Home and Garden Show, 30 employees. Things should have been primed to be perfect. I think at that time, I was growing less and less accountable. And in September, I pretty much lost everything in 21 days. So
Let me reiterate, the Saturn return
right.
comes around to the same position 29 and a half to 30 years later, to the point it was when you were born.
Yeah.
For you that's in Leo. I know you're an earth sign, so from a fire perspective, I can go into this world of the spirit and go, okay, this is like total karmic zero for me. I have to start rebuilding. As an earth person, do you also see that maybe the spiritual component of what that cycle was about?
Yeah, I think that, you know, there were lessons to be had that I needed to know about, that I had become callous to. You know, in terms of, you know, whether it be accountability or respect. And there's probably a whole gamut of things, but I think the most was just being in my skin and not out there. When in reality, you know, you have an effect in every ripple that you make. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you have to do it for the rest of your life. you have to love what you're doing. So I had a friend of mine working with me, and he really believed in my design capabilities. You know, he thought, you know, you've just been misinterpreted. You really are special in this. And he was a great guy, great friend. So he bought me this book, Ayn Rand's Fountainhead. And in that is an architect that is totally misinterpreted, ahead of his time, blah, blah. So I'm reading this 1,000-page book, and I find my old ID from the time where I'd gotten married to like 2011.
Okay.
I lost it for a while, had to get a new one. Anyway, I found that ID, and that was through those formative years of being married and building my business. So I started using that ID to mark my book in Fountainhead, which was to be me, you know, that architect, right? To get me back into landscaping. And I'd always toyed with the notion of getting into personal training, but just didn't quite take the plunge. So I was in a cab in Washington, D.C. I just left the bookstore, and I was reading that book, and I put my ID in and marked the page, got in the cab, right? Driving down the road, going to the hotel, get out of the cab, walking down the street, and go, oh crap, I left my book and the old ID in the cab. Like God or the universe came down and just said, you're done. That life, that guilt, everything that you have within you that has been ruling you, this life that you had once, you know, a long time ago, it's gone. Leave it. And I quit. I didn't do any more landscaping. I got my personal training license a month later, and off I went.
And this was about when? About a
Last year.
About a year ago?
About a year ago.
Well, what's fascinating is at about that time when I would presume you had the revelation.
There you go, revelation. Yeah.
Mars, the planet of masculinity and action and aggression and just everything that deals with movement, was in Virgo. And it had gone retrograde. And what retrograde is it's the apparent reverse motion of a planet. And symbolically, we look at that as a time of rebuilding. So it would be more of an internal actions happening.
Right.
So, and at that time, you got the personal trainer license, and is that about the same time I would think you were getting this started? The space started.
It started just thereafter, yeah.
And like I said, Mars was in Virgo, in your sign,
right.
And it was moving retrograde. So it was an internalized action taking place in a sign of health and fitness.
Yeah.
And then Go Native Fit is launched around what, mid-late April, right?
April, yeah.
Well, around mid-late April, Mars, that planet of action and aggression and masculinity in the sign of health and fitness in Virgo, stations, appears to stop in the sky and then moves for direct motion, forward motion, outward expression. Ta-da! This comes into outward expression of life. Mid-April, and here we are now at the end of August and the start of Virgo, talking to you with your successful Go Native Fit company. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's very impressive.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be here.
Likewise, look at you. I mean, it's amazing what you've done. Jeez.
It's all in the stars.
Yeah, right? It is.
It's all in the stars.
Right.
So I think we are going to take Scott the intern on a run through this boot camp.
Put him through? All right, buddy.
You ready for this?
There we go.
This is Scott the intern, and I'm about ready to do the boot camp. So right That's it.